Andrews.
Awesome, guys. Welcome here to another episode of The Launch Button. And today we're talking about making space for your new business, making space for your new real estate. And before we even do that, we've got to declutter our space and our brain. And so we brought an expert on here, Kitty Andrews, and she's based in Nova Scotia, Canada, but she works with people all across the country. She's spoken for Stanford, Harvard University. She's written articles in the LA Times and everything like that. And she talks about once we declutter our space, we can also declutter our brain. And that's what we need to do to build new habits and to build new businesses and whatever your goal is. So, Kitty, how did you get started working with people to declutter space and declutter their brain?
Well, thank you for asking you. It's been there hasn't been an actual turning point. It's been more like an evolution. I've always been the tidy, organized kid. Possible autism spectrum there, stacking those little building blocks, what have you. But fast forward to my first job out of school, and I was a filing clerk and got promoted to accounting. And a couple months later, a lady said, where I was filing, she said, "Would you consider coming back to work for us part-time? Because we can't find anything anymore. You were the best we ever had." I'm thinking ABC, that's a pretty simple concept, but whatever. And then moving into restaurant career, I loved being voted the person to go clean the walk-in fridge, because I tell you what, at the end of their shift, those cooks, they just throw everything in there willy and nilly, and you can't find anything. So I loved that. I could get things nice and tidy and be able to find things myself too. And
That was the most important thing. You could find stuff for yourself too,
well,
right?
yeah, yeah. You're waitressing, you've got a full section, you can't find the yogurt. That's stressful. Just trust me on this.
Oh, I've worked in restaurants since I was 16 years old, so I totally get it. Like understanding where things on and understand that,
yeah.
it gives you a great perspective on people.
Well, organization is key no matter what your job is. And then I had an 18-year real estate cleaning business, and I found myself being pulled to just kind of maybe rearrange a couple of things on the TV stand to make things flow better, just to make it feel better. Fortunately, all the clients liked what I was doing, and that kind of evolved into staging, real estate staging, just anything that made things feel, the surroundings feel calmer and less chaotic. You'll notice the sign and behind me there, clear the clutter, calm the chaos. Because when you're cluttered, not only is your physical surroundings cluttered, but your mental surroundings are cluttered. The two, I believe, you are just inextricably intertwined. In the middle of the week, I feel that maybe things have started to pile up on the kitchen counter a little bit, and I'll give it a 15-minute tidy, and I am filled with extra energy the next day. Now you would say, well, that's kind of weird. I think she's making that up. No, it's almost a routine. I try to keep it tidy, but you get busy. Entrepreneurs, so many juggling of plates,
Yep.
right? And things are going to pile up, but you do just a little bit of clearing, doesn't take much, and you do feel that extra burst of energy. Hello.
Wow. And so you've touched on a lot of things here, especially for our audience here. A lot of people dealing with both real estate and their businesses and their cats and animals, just like you have there. And we always, that's part of what it is, right? People got animals that they got to take care of, and the clutter from that and from kids. So a lot of people in our field, right, have their day job, and now they're starting their side hustle, and then they're going to have their real estate. So there's lots of things going on, lots of moving parts, as you say. How can you help people keep those things straight and work with their clutter? Because you said real estate staging is a big part of buying and selling properties. So if you can give them a few tips on things to do that would help them declutter.
Well, the number one thing that I have found, every single client that I've had, and even non-clients, everybody is overwhelmed. Where do I start? And whether you're doing whether you're about to sell or you just want to declutter a couple of rooms, there is an overwhelming feeling of where do I start? What do I do? It's too much. I won't be able to do it. I've tried before and it didn't work, so I'm not even going to bother now. That's the negative language. And I think that the key is to get over that overwhelm first. And I do that with my one system, which can be also applied to your mental clutter. Would you like to hear how?
Sure. We're all ears.
Okay. My one system is it developed because it was the only one that made sense. My middle name should be one now. It's one room at a time, one area of that room at a time, one thing at a time. Why did it make sense to me and my clients, most of whom are, like me, ADHDers, card carrying, foot stomping, brain everywhere, big ideas, all of these things, and only so much mental space to hold on to it. So you want to make as much mental space as you can, but if you get rid of that overwhelm, then you are going to have more mental space. So the one room at a time is just choose one room. Don't try to bounce between. Because by the time you get to the back to the first room, you'll be, oh yeah, I know that you're bored and you want to go to the other room. But if you stick with the one, then you will see momentum. You will fuel your confidence. You'll fuel your self-esteem to say, yes, I can actually do this. Next part of that is the one area of that room at a time. Exact concept, same concept, but just in smaller. Yes, you want to, Mr. Overachiever, you want to do some over there, you want to do some over there, you want to wave your magic wand, get the whole thing done yesterday. Doesn't work like that, by the way. Stick with one. And again, see the momentum happening. And hey, if your partner comes in and looks at it and goes, wow, well, then you get bonus points, right?
Yeah, you get the extra confidence.
Yeah. And the crowning part of this is a bit of a fork, one thing at a time. Now, is it tedious? Yes. Is it time consuming? I'm afraid so. But is it also the number one way that you will be able to stay decluttered for life? Yes. 90-second story on that to demonstrate?
Sure. Just one question for clarity for some. When you say
Yeah.
one thing at a time, do you mean like one, let's say, desk at a time, or do you mean like one go through the mail at a time or something like that when you say one thing at a time?
And this story will illustrate this. I do mean literally one thing at a time. Your brain can only do one thing at a time. Anyway, my very first client, she had an L-shaped desk, big L-shaped desk, piled with about 6 inches of paper. And that was all she wanted me to help her with. And so we get together, our first session, and remember, I'm brand new at this. And I said, well, let's start on that stack right in front of you. What's that top piece of paper? And she looks at me like, I'm not going through all of this one by one. And I thought, I've already taken her money. What am I going to do? And, so she relented. I guess she felt that she could smell the fear from Michigan. And funny thing happened. She started to go through it quicker and quicker and say, why do I have so many utility bills? I don't need these. I can get them online. My accountant does not need bank statements. And things started to go into the shredding pile. And So she was her brain was searching for ways to get rid of that clutter. But here's the crowning jewel. She threw away golly, about 6 or 8 trade magazines, a bunch anyway, and they were about $8 a pop back then. And she reported a couple of weeks later, Kitty, I was in the store and my arm automatically reached for that magazine, and oh, wait a minute now, I just threw away $50 worth. So she decided to just buy them every couple of months, reduce what was coming in, and her brain can say, okay, yeah, you've done something, go eat some ice cream, and do you really need that Woman's Day magazine while you're there? All right, so save money at the same time. So that's the short story is to did I answer your question?
You did. You totally answered the question. So let me just summarize that for our audience here. We also talked about CDA, consistent daily action leads to success. And that's what you're saying here. Every day, take, one room, one area, one thing at a time, and go through that and give yourself, whether it's 10, 15 minutes every single day, to be able to go through that. And we talked about keeping things simple and not making it simpler. That's as simple as you can get to break that down, to create the space. And once you declutter that, you can add new things in, right? And that's one of the things that you really help people do is now that they've decluttered, they can get ready for the next thing that they want to do. And as you say, as entrepreneurs, we're often all over the place. The next great idea, gotta go make it happen. But we've got to clear the space for it. So this is an exercise that people should be doing daily, weekly, monthly, right? So that they stay on top of it, correct?
Whatever works for them. Now, some people, everyone, of course, is different. One size does not fit all, despite what the pantyhose ads tell you. They don't. One person might thrive on 5 minutes a day before they start their work. Now, this depends also on if they're decluttering or staying organized, because that's a different topic. But staying on decluttering, somebody's got a mountain, or they're leaving corporate, but their office at home is a mess. This is the scenario I'm imagining. Does that work for you?
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Okay, so that person, Mrs. Jones, might decide, I'll do 5 minutes in the morning when I'm freshest and I'm not crabby all day, or I'll do 5 minutes at the end of the day, or 15 minutes, no more than 45, by the way. This is important because your attention span, my appointments are only client appointments are only 50 minutes, 50. Why? Because I can see their eyes glaze over. So make sure that you keep it to 45 minutes. But the idea is, as Darren Hardy says, small, consistent steps over time. Now, if you only want to do it on the weekend, Saturday at 2 p.m., that's okay, but you still build your self-confidence and your self-esteem that, yes, I can stick to this. Maybe I should be doing it every day, but you know what? I don't want to. I want it done eventually. You have to be as close to happy as you can be doing it. Otherwise, you'll give up. Like the New Year's resolutions to go to the gym. If you're not enjoying it, then you're less likely. I don't enjoy going to my gym downstairs, but I go for 15 minutes a day. It's only 15 minutes a day, but it's at 9:45 every morning. I drag myself down. I do my 15 minutes. It's the habit.
Well, that's what it is, right? It's tricking the brain. You're like, just got to get yourself to the gym. Once you're there, it sort of takes over. And what you're really saying is one of the things we stress is holding yourself accountable. So if it's on your schedule, right, you get to create it whenever you want. Like you said, some people are better in the morning, some people are better at night, some people in the middle of the day, it's your break, whatever it happens to be for you, put it on your schedule and do it. And it just makes you stronger mentally, right?
Absolutely.
Because you followed through.
And you find yourself applying once you find that you're structured, for lack of a better word, in one area of your, how many? one area of your life, you find yourself almost craving another, to structure other areas of your life. Why? To save yourself mental energy. For example, I know that today is Wednesday. Partly I can look at the calendar, yes, but or on the screen there, but I'm wearing pink. Wednesday is pink day. I don't have to think about that. I know a realtor who does exactly the same thing. One time at a Thursday meeting, his coworker said, "Don't you have any other shirts, Scott?" Scott said, "This is my Thursday shirt." I didn't know that that Scott was ADHD, but years later, it made total sense. Whatever you can do to streamline your life, to save that mental energy. And if you're going in transition from corporate to home and you have a family, you need to be, in my opinion, as streamlined as possible. And it teaches your kids good habits as they're growing up, makes their life easier.
Yeah, and
Agree?
yeah, like you said, it's about building the habits, and when we habit stack, right, then you gain confidence automatically because you did your cleaning, even if you don't like it, which
Yep.
that's your superpower. But most people don't really like it that much to declutter. But if you get it done, just like you said, like going to the gym, you just make it one of those habits, and you'll be happier for the rest of your life on doing that. Now, you did mention something earlier. So you said the first part is decluttering. And then the second part is staying organized. So for those people that are organized and moving forward, and since we got a few extra minutes here, can you give a little tip to our listening audience on about staying organized?
I have two.
All right, let's just do
Not
that. We're giving you bonuses here.
Well, especially since we're dealing with a bit of a family dynamic here. We're dealing, as I understand it, we're dealing with, I'm envisioning someone transitioning from corporate to home, and everything that already entails, and the stress, and am I going to be able to make it, and is it going to work, and all of this kind of stuff. Again, saving mental energy. First thing you want to do, I always use the desk as an example, but you could apply this to your kitchen counter, your bathroom counter, whatever means most to you. But let's talk about the office. Take 5 minutes, takes me 2.5. 5 minutes, no more than that, to just tidy, make your desk hotel-y. All right, just make it look nice and welcoming to walk in. I did not do this for the first time in about 1.5 years. Last week, I didn't, because it was just an insane day. And I didn't want to. I didn't even want to take that 2.5 minutes.
Are you saying to do this, by the way, are you saying to do this at the end of your day, so the next day you walk in, it's hotel-y?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Because in the morning you may not be feeling lemony fresh anyway. You just want to jump into your work and get her done. So if you walk into you sit at your desk and go, "Phew," that's negative. You don't want to feel it that way. You want to feel positive. You want to feel nurtured. That, ooh, this is nice. Now, if you've got a pile of papers and all you can do is just kind of tidy them like this, that's good enough. Or put them on the floor. But just take that couple of minutes of self-care. It's self-care, and make it nice for yourself when you walk in. My second tip is, never walk from one room, and it's from my waitress days. Never walk from one room to another empty-handed. There's always something that you can carry. You remember your restaurant days? Yes? Yeah. There's always something you can carry, whether, in restaurants, it's a salt shaker, a napkin container, or whatever. Something always needs to be done. And if you do that on a consistent basis, then you'll be able to stay on top of the clutter. And sometimes I moved into a larger apartment here. Most people downsize, not me. I'm the other way around.
Yeah.
And sometimes I say, oh, I'll pick it up tomorrow. And I say to myself, come on, walk the walk, you talk the talk, just pick it up and walk it over to the laundry area, which is on the other side of the apartment. Just do it. Keeps it tidy. So the 2 tips, take that 5 minutes to tidy whatever area you choose, and never walk empty-handed. And that will help you and train your family members too, if you can. Well, actually, they're going to see it, and they're going to start to quite naturally mimic behavior.
And there you go, right? So not only can you teach you can teach your employees, you can teach your family, whoever is around you, to help declutter their space, declutter your brain. Now, you've gotten 3 amazing tips here on this podcast today alone. And we've also been talking subconsciously about decision fatigue, right? So if you build these things in, no longer does it become a decision, it just becomes habit. And that habit then leads to success and your habit stacking. And pretty soon you're launching yourself into your new dream life. You're launching yourself into opportunities that may have been cluttered before and you didn't even see them. And
Yes.
or it could have been right in front of you on your desk there. And again, they were covered up because you couldn't get through your own clutter to see the opportunities for success, because they're around you each and every day. Kitty, we thank you so much for your time here today. We really appreciate it. We're going to have some links in the show notes for people to be able to get into your programs, be able to go ahead and do that. So just click down below to be able to do that. And Kitty, where could they find you, just in case?
Declutterthebrain.com, and I have a gift for them there. If you'd like me to tell you about it quickly, it's 7 easy steps to conquer their physical and mental clutter. And it's intended as a grounding tool for your declutter journey and beyond.
Awesome. So we'll have that link in there as well. So you guys can just click on that and get over to Kitty. And we look forward to all your success and bringing you back in the future for future tips, because I know we only got 3 out of 7. So we're going to have to come back for more in the future. It was a pleasure having you here today. And guys, gals, everybody out there, understand what she said. Building these 5-minute habits, the consistent daily action that will lead you to success on decluttering your space, which declutters your brain, which allows you more opportunities to see the things around you and the opportunities to take your businesses, your real estate, your personal life to new heights. So we'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day and keep taking action. Thank you for joining us on the Launch Button Podcast, your gateway to unlocking your true potential and pursuing your passions. Don't let the journey end here. For more empowering insights, valuable resources, exclusive content, and free giveaways, visit www.thelaunchbuttonpodcast.com.